Port 10, steer 205.
Port 10, steer 205.
Very good.
Be a bit more positive on that microphone, otherwise you'll never get people to obey your orders. It doesn't need a loud voice, but you sounded very hesitant, so you didn't know what you're doing. But you don't yet, do you?
I've done my first term at Dartmouth, and then we're now into the first third of our second term, which is on board HMS Fearless.
HMS Fearless was designed as an amphibious assault ship carrying Marines and soldiers. It's also a training ship with up to 150 midshipmen having sea experience before they go out to join the fleet.
I want to be a seaman officer. That's why I joined the Navy.
Roger report is no good. You've got to tell him what to do with the contact. All right? Tell him to report the contact again at 5 miles.
Option bridge.
Option.
Report to contact again at 5 miles.
Option.
If you don't tell the option what to do, they will keep the plot on the table, but they won't actually report to him. If you tell them to report him again at 5 miles, they'll come up, give you course, speed, and CPA.
You learn everything in Dartmouth in lecture rooms, but then when you come on board the ship, you can actually see it and feel it, and it's around you, and you take part in it. You are actually doing it yourself.
HMS Andromeda is a Leander-class frigate. The Leanders are the workhorses of the Navy.
Navigator, take the ship on the bridge.
I joined the Navy 12 years ago, and I've spent 8 of those years at sea.
Steer 083.
And that is what you've got to do if you want to achieve the goal of every seaman officer, which is to command your own ship. There's no substitute for experience, and you won't get that unless you're at sea. I remember the first time that I had to take a ship out. It was HMS Achilles, exactly the same as Andromeda, and the adrenaline was really flowing then. Never done it before. The first time that I'd navigated a ship anywhere, ever.
West Vanguard buoyed the Black Chronicle to port, so relieved to port on the next turn.
Plymouth, I suppose, is regarded by most people as a pretty tortuous place to get in and out.
Still got a slight air.
And if you don't look and think, that doesn't look right.
So we want to turn early on the next turn.
Which is all part of experience, and things can go wrong.
Wheel over to port 045 and 20 degrees of wheel.
And I realised that for the first time I ever went out of Plymouth. It's the perfect teach-in.
On now, sir.
Port 15. Port 15.
Well, it's the responsibility of the marine engineer officer always to be closed up in the control position for the machinery. The marine engineer officer is obviously responsible for the whole of the marine engineering department, which, as well as the propulsion equipment, also involves responsibility for the condition of the hull, virtually the material state of the ship, and he's responsible for the damage control.
I think the tension in an exercise situation is created by the possibilities of damage to the ship and the enormous impact that that can have upon the ability of the command to fight the ship. The old adage, to float, to move, and to fight. The Marine Engineering Department has to provide the first 2 of those.
The idea of Fearless is to consolidate the knowledge you learned at Dartmouth, to put it to a practical use.
Tell the captain about this contact exactly as you would as officer watch.
So we're not really learning anything new, we're just doing it sort of in real-life situation.
Skunk 31, bearing 188, distance now 5 miles. CPA is close to the ship. I've instructed the ops room to watch.
CPA is going to be close to the ship. How far?
I'll check that.
All right, let me know, will you?
One of the main Dartmouth philosophies is to give all the midshipmen a training which is as broad an aspect without being too deep.
What is the CPA of Skunk 31?
Whatever entry you are, engineer, seaman, supply, pilot, the lot, you're a naval officer first, and a seaman or an engineer second. And that's why we get the same basic training.
Well, on, hang your back.
All midshipmen on board Fearless spend quite a few hours doing seaboat training, because if you do have a man overboard, it's one of the most effective ways of recovering him. At Dartmouth, we spend a lot of time also talking about man overboard, but again, there it's theory, all done on the river in small motorboats. Actually getting out there in the sea, in the big waves, it's putting it into a real-life situation.
HMS Dreadnought is a nuclear-powered submarine. She's capable of carrying out continuous high-speed underwater patrols. She's completely independent of her base and can in fact circumnavigate the globe without even having to surface.
They've been operating in and around that area. The only navigational dangers, sir, are the Hind Bank out here, but that should present us with no problems as we don't expect to be that far west. That's all, sir. Thank you. Somebody got any questions?
Yes, what depth are we going to be transiting at?
We'll be transiting at 400 feet to be below the land. The great thing about life in the Navy, and particularly the submarine service, it's a 24-hour-a-day life. It's not like sort of shutting the door in the office at 5 o'clock in the evening. The work is very real. It's to do with today's confrontation.
Weapons? Right, sir. The weapon system is correct. We still have 2 more Mark 8s to charge before we die, which should be finished within the next 40 minutes, sir.
It's not the glamour Navy, but it is the Navy that produces results. And I think it's this worthwhileness in the job that really attracts people into us. Communications? Reading a broadcast routine every 3 hours, sir. So at 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, etc. You have to read one routine in 4. You go into high-frequency radio silence at midnight tonight.
Quite often, if a ship has a military-type task to perform, she can embark a detachment of Royal Marines who can act as a landing party.
Mission. Our mission is to deny the enemy the use of this railway line for 48 hours. We will do this...
Well, the ship's detachment itself consists of an officer, a ship sergeant major, and a detachment of up to about 20 Marines.
The ship will sail tonight and be off the area here before first light tomorrow morning. At 0600 we will embark in the Geminis and we will land at 0700. We will move inland.
As an officer, you are part of Wardroom Life, and the Marines detachment, including yourself, is part of the ship's company.
We will secure the immediate area, and myself and 3 will go in and set the demolition charges.
Going on a small raid like that, where you're going in, you're going to do a job and you're going to come out within a very short space of time, you'll travel obviously as light as possible. Wherever you go, you always carry enough kit to survive for 24 hours.
Hello, 0, this is 33 Foxtrot radio check, over.
On top of that, you carry the equipment that you're going to need, which will be your own personal weapon, enough ammunition, and also, of course, the explosives or any other specialist equipment that you needed for your task.
The Royal Naval Air Station at Yeovilton has about 240 Wrens. Girls employed as aircraft mechanics, radar operators and Met watchkeepers. Can I have the shipboard, please? And also various other Wrens in support of the establishment itself. There were 2 basic reasons why I joined the Wrens. The first of these was the actual job itself. I was fortunate enough to be able to obtain a post in meteorology, and secondly, to be able to obtain responsibility at a relatively early age. I was a teacher and particularly enjoy working with people, and the service gives you ample opportunity for being able to develop any potential that you have in this particular sphere.
Now it's 2 miles. Current on straight.
The operations room is where the ship is fought from now. It's the nerve centre. In the old days, the captain would fight his ship from the bridge. No longer does. He does it in the operations room, because it's there that all your sensors are displayed. Your information coming from your sonar,
050.
visual lookouts,
How are we for our screen position off the
ship's radars, aircraft. It's all collated in the operations room, and trying to present to the captain a nice, clear, concise picture of what's going on around him in the deep field.
The weapons electrical officer is standing in the ops room, as close to the captain as he can get, given the fact that there are about 15 other people who also need to be close to the captain, particularly the principal warfare officers, who have to oversee the whole operation. With so many people packed in the operations room, the temperature rises. The noise level gets higher and higher as people get more excited. Everything comes at you really thick and fast.
Investigate 270, watch range 3000. You're quite happy.
The weapons electrical officer is very aware that all the equipment which he's responsible for has got to be working. It's quite frightening, really, when you think of the huge amount of equipment in the ship, each bit of which is critical or could be critical.
It's a sort of humbling process after university, when you think you're the top dog, to learn that you're not, and accept the fact that experience is one of the most important things, rather than the theory that goes with it. And the secret is a blend of experience and knowledge about the environment in which you're working.
Yeah, that's it. Now that should be right. There we are. That's 2 to be. Yeah, 2 to be. Also another tower for the dome.
The instructors will drill into the young midshipman the word basic. Although you might find it difficult at times, it's really the simplified version of what you would have to do as a specialist in that task. From navigation through to seamanship, through to the academic subjects. Replenishment at sea is when one ship does not want to go into port to replenish its supplies, in which case the Royal Fleet Auxiliary will come alongside. It's a never-ending process of swinging a weight from one ship to another. You can imagine the problems involved if a line parted. The whip-back effects could quite easily kill somebody. A lot of it you don't like, do you? But life's not a bed of roses anyway.
I have the ship, clear the bridge for diving, come down below, shut the upper lid. I don't really believe that you have to be a particularly special guy. I mean, if you're intelligent and you don't mind working hard and you've got a good sense of humour and enjoy comradeship,
Diving now.
don't mind living in a caravan for 20 odd years, then you'll make it.
You are safe for 1.3 miles on this track.
One of the rewards is the fact that you're able to be the captain of your own submarine at a comparatively early age.
Lower the wireless mast.
Lower the wireless mast. Wireless going down.
And this is an immense step.
At 08:15, the Met officer starts on the briefing round.
Good morning, gentlemen. The midnight picture. Anticyclone flying from northeast England across to southwest Ireland.
The forecaster goes in turn to each of the squadrons to brief them on what the weather situation is going to be like for the local area and for the exercise area, which is a 100 nautical mile radius from Yeovilton.
In southern coastal areas this afternoon. Basic situation is anticyclone across the northern part of the country.
As long as one performs one's job satisfactorily, whether it be meteorology, secretarial work or whatever, and also the various responsibilities required of an officer, then the men will hold you in equal esteem.
To the east of LFA1 there are still patches of low stratus. They're based at about 800 feet, but these should be burning off as you're getting there anyway, so no problem really with regard to that. And
there are perhaps two important aspects concerning a ship's helicopter pilot in transiting back to his parent ship: the cloud and the visibility. The visibility at his destination will determine whether or not he will be able to land on the deck.
Well, the Lynx is a new concept in shipborne helicopters, in that it has a pilot and an observer. It has a much greater range capability and a much greater payload than any small shipborne helicopter has ever had before. It has a top speed in excess of 140 knots, and it can carry the ship's weapons performance over the horizon to the tune of 50, 100 miles or so away from the parent ship, which is a long way in excess of anything that the Navy has had before. The Lynx has three main operational roles. Firstly, anti-submarine, in that it can carry homing torpedoes. Secondly, it can carry homing missiles, and this is the new and very crucial role for a small shipborne helicopter. And thirdly, it has a very long endurance and can carry out radar, visual and electronic surveillance ahead of and above the fleet. Most pilots, I think, join the Fleet Air Arm first of all to fly, because they have the advantages of not only flying, but also of serving on a ship, seeing the world, and being part of the naval environment. But they very soon realize that, in fact, rather than being a pilot first and a naval officer second, it's the other way around, and they're very much a naval officer who happens to fly.
Don't forget, lads, just make sure it's a nice drop round the ears. Good. Yeah.
Try and get it on the islands as well.
What?
Try and get it on the islands as well.
Yeah.
You're prepared to leave. You camouflage yourselves out. Good first field dressing?
Thanks, sir.
We get this man a first field dressing. So let's go.
Okay. Right.
Make sure all the weapons are working properly. Issue the ammunition.
Right, Stiggs, what frequency are you on?
And once this is done, you yourself then know that each man can carry out his tasks as you've told him to, without having to worry at any time.
Okay.
You know, because you've supervised and inspected everybody in the preparation of the equipment before they leave the ship.
Magazines full? Yeah. Right, make sure everything's all right.
Gun working all right? Yes, sir. When was it last fired? About a week ago. Good.
On board Fearless, we're given an opportunity to sample every single department on board a ship and see the jobs that just about everybody does.
We live like ratings in the same messes. We are treated in like ratings quite a lot. We eat with the ratings. We have the same sort of leave hours, same conditions. I mean, we work with the ratings as well. We talk to them. They don't look at us as officers, so they talk to us quite freely. But if we had a couple of gold stripes on our arms, you know, they would sort of clam up a bit. And this is a good way to find out, you know, what they think. I mean, cleaning the bilges, nothing fascinating about that, but you've got to do it so you know what the men under you are doing. So that when you're an officer, you know, if you say to a rating, go and clean the bilges, you know what he's going to go through.
Now when we plot the actual fix on the chart, we take the same order for fixing purposes as the order in which we took the bearings. Okay, so if we start off with the 2 to B tower, 105.
Foreign ports to me, I find very intriguing, but I haven't been abroad a lot.
That's right, Mr. Westwood. Circle around, correct time, and the next job now is to go outside and take another fix.
Right. But it's interesting to see the way other people live.
What they are doing now is a hacking process. It means that we are separating the wine from the sediments. It's done every 90 days, and that crop is a 1975 Aubryon, which will be bottled in 1979.
It's nice to be able to do it in a reasonably relaxed manner. You're not on a hurried car chase through France, the old Grand Tour. You actually come into a port, and we're here for a week, and you can get out most nights, except when you're on duty, and you can explore the place you want, the way you want to explore it. And we're helped a lot too by being in the Navy. Things are arranged for us, or people are a lot more receptive to us in the port that we go to, because we're there in some semi-official capacity.
The object of this type of operation is to get in, to do the job that you're given, and to get out as quickly as possible. The main type of assault that a commando unit would do, in fact, would be by helicopter and or landing craft. The type of landing by the small craft would not be a complete commando assault. It would be done by more small raiding parties. The demolitions team would only consist of possibly 2 or 3 people who would be trained in the use of explosives, so they could lay the charges as quickly and efficiently as possible in the area where the most effect from the explosives would be made. The idea in this case would have been to blow the railway line as quickly and cleanly as possible. And once that was done, to leave the area as quickly as possible again and back to the parent ship.
You've got to be well trained, and this is one of the reasons why we do all this all the time, is to make sure that people do know their jobs, they are well trained, so that they can keep up with the amount and speed that the information is coming into the ship.
Officer Watch, the aircraft attack is taking place now. Shortly afterwards we'll be launching 472.
Roger, sir. Understood.
You can sometimes wonder what would happen if that was really an enemy aircraft coming in. It's very difficult to put oneself into a wartime environment. It's quite easy to simulate the wartime conditions.
Overflown by Buccaneers, Roger.
Coming up on the stern of Amazon.
Roger, stern of Amazon, thank you.
090.
But it's very difficult to put oneself in the mental frame of being at war.
I'll let you know, we're in the middle of an air attack.
The closest one can come to this is by total commitment to an exercise. And sometimes you can get this terrific feeling of a whole ship's company really imagining that this is for real, and that you get a terrific esprit de corps.
Good.
When people begin to realize that there could be a war, and we could manage.
Roger, starboard 15.
As you probably know, the British government is particularly sensitive to what goes on in the eastern part of the Atlantic, and we've been tasked with finding out exactly what these ships are doing. In the next 24 hours, I'm going to go deep and fast, get there as quickly as possible, and to get on with the assessment. We spend more time thinking about what we're going to do if the balloon goes up. I know it's perhaps not a good way of thinking about things. One hopes it'll never happen, but I think it's absolutely vital that in the interests of the whole country that we are ready.
The Navy requires a particular attitude of mind. And if you've got it, you make it a success. You'll like the Navy, and it will like you.
I think it is safe to proceed. Yes, I think you're right. But it's getting a bit marginal, isn't it? Yes, sir. One would consider alternate course to starboard, right? Good. But there's a very good reason why we don't want to unless we have to on this occasion. What's that? Do you know?
We're on a high-speed transfer, so we don't want to deviate course.
We don't. That's right.
The turn will slow us down.
That's great. Good. That's fine. Well, in fact, we're in this visibility and with the full operations room crew closed up, I'm sure that's perfectly safe. We'll hold our course for the moment. Good.
I'd had my sights on a gold stripe on my arm for a long time, but when I got it and went to see out into the real Navy with it, out of the training Navy sort of thing, I very quickly learned that it's not a divine right to tell anyone anything. It purely signifies that you've got so far up a ladder. You've got to make it mean something. You've got to amass the experience and use the common sense when you haven't got the experience to make the rank mean something.
Come right 180.
Bearing 102. Range 850. Range rate change 12.